welcome to FNSBUP.
Welcome.
And today we're going to do an overview of the bags that we've used, the individual specs of the bags, and how well they perform, how comfortable they are, things like that. So we'll be doing a little bit of a discussion today.
Just in our experience, basically, from what we've used over time as we've progressed through, basically from that patrol pack on Matt's left, which is just basically like a cadet patrol pack, dirt cheap. I think it's probably 40 quid.
Yes, more like that.
We've had it for like 4 years. It was one of the first packs we got. Me, Matt, and a couple of his mates had the same sort of packs. We all had just the cheapy packs.
Very cheap, very nasty. Not waterproof.
No. But look, for a basic pack when you're starting out, 40 quid, you don't want to spend a lot. You just want to put a little bit of gear in. You're going out maybe a day, one nighter. It'll do at a pinch.
And you've got to step up from that.
Well, you can.
If you want to.
This for me was a bit of a...
If you can get hold of them.
Yeah, if you can get hold of these are a rarity. Ideally I wanted the LK75, which is a 75 litre, so it has a bit of a bigger frame, which is on the back, the big metal frame. And we have showcased this a little bit in other videos, but not a close-up quite like this. So it's got a metal frame with a bit of a bottom to it, okay? And the whole pack just straps round and onto the frame, and you've got two bands on the back which cushion on your back. It looks like it's the most uncomfortable pack in the world. Believe it or not, the most comfortable pack I've had on my back. Now, this is the LK35, which is the smaller version to the one I actually wanted, which basically what it is a military, Swedish military backpack. And it's what the Swedish military would have used, okay? They do a large version, and this is the 35 litre smaller version. So that's good for a day pack. It's made out of canvas. I've added extra waxing to it just to give it that extra properties of waterproof, just because it is dead old. We've used that quite a bit. It's just a bucket bag. You just basically open it and chuck all your rubbish in it. But it has proved useful, hasn't it, over the years?
Yep.
Now we progress, upgrade big time to a bag basically that we class as will do everything for you.
Yeah, this is our full-time bag that we use for every single trip that we go on.
Awesome.
It'll do us 1 day trips all the way to 3-4 night trips.
4-nighters, yeah.
Even more than that.
If you're careful with
you could probably squeeze in a week's worth of stuff.
I think if we'd have perhaps dehydrated food with a dehydrator, we could have probably got a week's worth of food in there with our gear as well.
Yeah, it's got big heavy duty straps. It's got
right, basically what it's got, we'll have a quick run through, just spin it over as soon as you're on the back, just go to the back again. Right, now, big heavy duty waist buckle. Now, this back, really thick padded. Now I don't know if you can see from how distant that is, but really thick waistband. It's got a bit of a rip in the padding there, but that really doesn't affect it. I can bang a bit of duct tape on there, that'll live, that's fine. Basically it's called the Cyclops 3 back panel. Okay, very sturdy, ergonomic for the base of your back. So it's got like a bulging out kind of shape to go into the small of your back. So when you've got all your weight on, you've got all that perfect cushion at the base of your spine. And that's what this is designed for. This is a 90 litre pack without the side pouches. Each side pouch are 10 litres each, so that adds an extra 20 litres to your initial 90 base. So that makes it 110 litres total. Now we haven't currently got side pouches. I'm going to upgrade my pack to the bigger size because I feel that we need it basically. Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the financial situation that we find ourselves in, we can't afford like the Thermarest mats and the titanium cookware and pots. You know, the really light down sleeping bags that will squeeze down to a really small size will keep you mega warm in the winter. We can't afford all that dead expensive gear. You're talking £200-300 pot for a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I haven't got that kind of money on a sleeping bag. Do you know what I mean?
Air wrapped in plastic.
we'll do a run through of the individual pieces of gear that we will put in this pack. I'm just going to do another quick run through. So you've got the thick waistband, you've got the Cyclops 3 back padding there, okay, really heavy duty straps, really strong, everything's firmly stitched and connected to the pack. Really good build quality.
This is second hand as well. This isn't brand new either.
£214 on the internet, brand spanking new. Again, I can't afford that and I won't pay that. I went to surplus stores on the internet. You type in the Berghaus Crusader backpack into those search engines and you should come up with these. There are quite a few around, different qualities.
If you can see that, I'll show you. It says on the actual bag there. See if you can see that on the camera. Berghaus Crusader, there we are.
And we'll show you it when it's fully packed and what it looks like and how much of our gear you can get in it. Right, so on the side you can see here where you've got these two big buckles. You've got these two big buckles on the side here and here, and then two zips under these flaps here. Now this is where your side pouch attaches to the backpack. Now, on this backpack, on the side where you would normally put the pouch, if you're not wearing the pouch and you're just going for the 90 litre base pack as it is now, you've got the two zips here. Underneath where the pouches would go, on both sides, you have these big buckles. Okay, that's the dogs. We've got these two big buckles. We always wondered what they were for. Did a bit more research into the backpack.
Leo, shut up.
Did a bit more research into the backpack, and these are actually for attaching skis to the side of your pack, which is absolutely awesome. So it can also be like an alpine type kit, you know, like say if you're up in the Pyrenees or French Alps and you're skiing, or Canada. It's that versatile of a backpack, okay? So you've got that on both sides. Then you've got the attachment for the two pouches. And on the front of each side pocket, you've got the same again. So once they're covered with a pouch, don't think you've lost that ability because you'll find them on the front of each pouch, okay? On the front, you've got, on the bottom there, two cinch straps. Loads of molly connectors, so you can add like a big molly pack on the front to add extra stuff. Then you've got ski pole attachments, which is what these are for. Okay, they're for attaching ski poles to your pack. Okay, those, right. And again, on this side, you'll see the two zips again. And then the two big clips, okay, as I was saying. On the bottom, you also have bottom access into the bottom of the pack, which is really handy for when you've packed your pack and you've got your sleeping bag in the bottom. You don't have to go through all 90% of your gear to get to your sleeping bag. You can just go to the bottom of your pack, undo the zip, sleeping bag's out, boom, done, job's a good one. And this is why we like it. It's just so versatile, so easy to use, and it's got so many different things that you can do with it. Believe it or not, you can even take the two side pouches off. They will then zip together into like a day pack that you can then strap around your waist and off you go. And that means then you're carrying 20 litres. So say if you wanted to go off foraging for mushrooms, foraging for roots, for plants that you can eat, and you've left somebody at camp to say tend to the fire or fix the shelter or whatever, you can go off, take the side pouches off, empty all your stuff out, attach them together into the 20 litre day pack, and off you can go foraging. And you can fill that up with 20 litres worth of forage, which again is awesome, you know? So there's so many different things with this pack. It's made out of this really strong, like Cordura type material, and it is so thick. I mean, we've thrown these bags around in the woods.
Yeah.
And they don't really snag, they don't tear, they don't rip. They're so solid made. They are virtually...
If you can tell the difference between the material. this is more like a wax.
That's a wax canvas, that.
A wax canvas.
Yeah.
And then this.
That's like the Cordura. Now the only downside really, well I don't know, it's one of those kind of give or take bits really. It is and does have like a slight bit of waterproofing on the inside. So if you look at the outside, you can see how that, my elbow, how that's like a matte finish. And then on the inside, it's got like a shinier finish to it. So it's slightly waterproof. Now we went away, Storm Kiara, I think, in one of the playlists, the Bushcraft playlists, Storm Kiara, we went and absolutely lashing down. Things did get wet, but only really in the top of the bag. So always, always, always get yourself a nice big waterproof, what they call them waterproof bags.
Yeah, just a waterproof bag.
It's like a waterproof bag, and you roll it down and you clip it together, and then absolutely everything inside the pack is going to be dry.
A bag liner, maybe.
A bag liner, yeah, a waterproof bag liner is what the description I was looking for. Slip that down inside, then put your gear in. The bigger the waterproof liner, the better it'll fit in your pack. So don't go getting something small or you're going to reduce your space. Get a nice big one. Don't forget it's a 90 litre pack. So get close to that 90 litre. Pop it inside, bang all your stuff in, good to go. Now, also, last but not least, on the inside under the lid, you've got a nice big internal pocket at the top. Now, this is probably going to be good for, you know, like maps. Maybe you can slip a map in. I use it for the first aid kit. Our first aid kit always goes inside the lid in that pouch. So anything happens to either of us, we know exactly where that first aid pouch is. It's there all the time. Never comes out, apart from when we need it. Okay? I keep doing that. I do apologise. That's my elbow on the radiator.
Move the radiator.
I need to just take the radiator off the wall. And then on the back of the lid, because it's easily accessible on the top, okay, on the outside, you have another nice big pouch in that lid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Now in there, we will put knife. Maybe firelighting tin because it's small, you don't really want that knocking around in your pack. A pair of gloves.
The smog.
Your
or
schmog or whatever they're called. You know, the big sort of Afghan scarf.
Pronounce it.
Or a snood. Yeah, helps to protect from smoke, helps to protect from insects, all that kind of stuff. Anything really that you might feel you want to grab. Your silky saw. So when you get into camp, you're not again having to then rummage through all your gear in there to get to your bits and bobs. In there you've got like your tarp and your cook kit and all that stuff. You don't want to be doing that first. You're going to be setting up your fire, you're going to be building your shelter, you're going to be putting your hammock up or setting your tarp up. So you want to have access to that gear. I have done like a bit of a cordage loop on that just to extend that. Just basically what that helps with is if your hands are cold and you're fiddling around trying to grab that, it's hard to grab. I have knackered, painful hands, so it's for that as well. Also very useful for when you have gloves on. So you're not having to take your gloves on and off, on and off, on and off every time you want to get in your pack. Just get all of that, boom, dead easy. I add them to a lot of my zips on things. Helps out massive. Yeah, it's just a bit of cordage just looped through the zipper. Yeah, now just a nice little handy tip there for the packs. So yeah, so that is our main, go-to pack. So in a minute we're going to move on from these other two packs, and I know we've not really talked much about them, but day pack, all pack we don't really use. This is our main go-to pack, and this is where our focus is going to be.
Yeah, but what we're gonna do is fill up the pack as we would normally with the stuff that we would normally
step
take.
by step, yeah.
Show you how much space it takes up in the actual pack, and then we'll weigh them on the scales and show you the difference between the amount of stuff you'll be able to carry in this and then the amount of stuff you'll be able to carry in this, and show you the weight difference.
Well, yeah, that's a day pack. This is a very large pack. I do have another pack that's very similar to this, but it's nowhere near as good quality as this. It's basically a bag that I would just perhaps take if I was going shopping or something like that, because it's easy to just bang a load of food shopping and a load of items, loo rolls, stuff like that in a big rucksack, and you've still got your hands free for your phone, for getting on a bus, whatever it is you want to do. I like having my hands free. I don't like carrying loads of bags in my hands. I feel it's just cumbersome. But these two are different. That's a day pack, so you're clearly going to get less in it. But for a day pack, I find it's very versatile. It was just something old that I found on the internet, and it's just a little bit of a trip back to World War II, back to sort of, you know, a different type of military pack that's not British, you know, because basically all it is you've got your Bergen, your British military Bergen, and then you've got a couple of smaller packs, but they're not very good. And I just wanted to try this. Everybody was raving about it, so I just thought I'd give it a go. I just like it. It's old, it's tatty, it's done its time.
But it works, it stands the test of time.
Yeah, it works. Again, we can throw that around. See, the beauty of one of the reasons why I like this, with having the frames, a bit like the US Alice packs, is you've got this metal frame. Now that, you can then attach that to a tree with bungee cords, which is something we take with us all the time. I have a pair, Matt has a pair in his bag, and we bungee cord our bags to the trees. Keeps the bottom of your pack up off the wet floor if it's been raining. Fantastic way of just keeping your pack up out of the way. Never falls over because it's always attached to the tree. You always know where it is. It's a cracking idea. It's another technique that we'll probably show you again when we next go out. But that's useful for that. Keeps it sturdy to the tree. Right, so we'll be back shortly and we'll go through the gear that we're going to put into this pack, and we'll show you kind of how much gear we can get in. Now don't forget, we're in sort of autumn, coming up to winter, so the gear we've got is going to be more winter gear orientated, which means it's going to be a bit bulkier and there's going to be extra items in there that you need in winter that you're not going to need in summer. So bear that in mind. See you shortly. Right, okay, we're back. Okay, on the right hand side of the screen here, you've got the Crusader backpack. We've got some scales. And then we've then laid out pretty much all the gear that we would take on, say, a 2 to 3 day trip that will then fit in the backpack. Matt is going to take over. He's going to go through how a backpack ideally should be packed with weight dispersal and stability in mind for when you're carrying the backpack. This is what's generally recommended for most big packs like this, because there's a hell of a lot of weight in it. But just a quick run through. At the bottom of the screen on the right, I'll come in, you've got a couple of pouches that we carry. You've got cook gear on the right.
So that includes all of your knives and forks. We've got the little
Trangia cook kit.
The little Trangia in there, so
I label it up just easy.
we have like a little bottle if you want to take
milk or sauces,
things like that. Our staple, which is steak seasoning, because we always have a steak when we're out. So.
Oh, of course, won't go anywhere without it.
And then that's a little sock that Dad made for the sporks.
Yeah, it just keeps when they're clean and you clean them off. And coffee as well.
Caffeine.
Gotta have your caffeine. Salt.
Sodium.
Need a bit of salt when you're out.
And then we have a spare do-rag as well.
Called a do-rag. Cleans up any muck. Cleans your hands off. But yeah, that kind of... I will have like a bottle of oil that goes in there as well. Because we found that just cooking steak straight on the coals is alright, but if you want a mouthful of ash, it's not particularly nice. We have seen people cook steaks just directly on coals. We tried it, it's not very good. Now then we also have another pouch. This is off an old bag, these two pouches. This is cordage. And in there we've got a couple of hanks of like 15 metre paracord.
Just reels upon reels of it. So.
Yeah, just loads and loads and loads of paracord there for tying out. Okay. Then we've got the bungees that I mentioned previously that we tie the packs to a tree with. Really heavy duty bungees. Really good, really useful. Okay.
Yeah, you can pick these up from
a pound shop.
Or
if you really want to go the dinger,
like a bargain store.
Yeah.
Like Home Bargains, B&M's, and in America probably Walmart will do these, maybe. Yeah. Home Mart, places like that.
All sorts of hardware stores will do those. Then we've got our sleep mat. Matt will just take it out of his bag. He's not going to blow it up or anything today. No. Just to kind of show you.
It's just a Berghaus air mat.
Just a Berghaus air mat.
Quite simple.
That'll go in. And as I was saying about waterproof bag, we have this.
It's not the very best. It's, you know, it's
No,
not
but
the
it works. It does the
expensive,
job. And they roll down and then clip. You see there, by Euro Hike. They're not really sponsored by them, but it was just one we could afford. Quite a big one. It was kind of half of the pack.
You just put all your spare clothes and stuff in there.
Yeah, it's quite big. You dump all your stuff in there. It just keeps it all dry. If you know you're going to be going out and it's wet weather.
Can't remember what litre
I
it is.
can't remember what literage is. It's probably about 50 litre. It's about half the backpack size, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get a lot of gear in that. You just roll it down, the air will slowly squeeze out. If you've not got much in it. We just have like spare clothes, underpants, socks, you know, t-shirt, trousers, or maybe a warm layer. Just in case you do get soaked, you fall in a river, you fall in a lake, or you have to do a lake crossing, whatever. You've then got that, you can put your gear in, keep it warm, waterproof, dry.
We always take a water bottle with us.
Then moving on, we have a water bottle.
Just a simple Nalgene bottle or whatever you want.
Yeah, which then goes in conjunction with our water filtration pouch, which has our Sawyer filter in. And we did a recent video on the Sawyer water filter. You can find that in the playlist.
You can see that?
Yeah, you can see all that in there. It's just got the little the bags that you put the water in, your syringe, the Sawyer filter. Then we've got
knife and your saw,
the standard knife, saw,
fire kit,
pair of gloves,
just woodcutter's gloves,
yeah,
just leather,
tinder pouch,
waterproof jacket.
That's my waterproof jacket. It's like a Swedish military waterproof jacket, and it's oversized so that I can put it over my really thick fleece that I have. And it is just a throw-on layer, but damn good. It hasn't let me down yet. Totally waterproof for that.
And the one thing that wouldn't make this all possible at all would be the tarp. If we didn't have the tarp, we wouldn't be able to go anywhere, do anything. So.
No. And we can do tarp tenting. You can use it as a shelter. You can hang it from the inside of a shelter if you make a big one. You can put it over the top of a smaller shelter. You know, you can do all sorts with it. A-frame stuff. That isn't the 4x4, by the way, that it says on the bag. That was our old tarp bag. That actually, the tarp that's in there is a DD, but it's a 3x3 DD tarp, and it's the one with all the clips around the side, so you can clip two of them together. Then we're going to move over to
a standard med kit.
Oh, excuse our little dog there. We just pan around and show Cherry. Oh, hello, Cherry. You want to get in, do you? Hello, darling. You want some attention? Do you want some attention? You big cutie. Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure she wants to be a film star, this little one. Always wanting attention, aren't you? Right.
Well, just a standard med kit.
Yeah.
Got cuts, scrapes, scratches, burns, disinfectant wipes. We've got paracetamol, ibuprofen, bandages.
You could break this down and have a bit of a smaller first aid kit. So you could have
saline wipes.
Yeah, you could have like a cuts first aid kit, or you could have a burns face first aid kit. But I tend to have as much as I can all in one kit. Cover all your bases. I've even got paper stitches in there in case you have like a really bad laceration from your knife.
Gloves,
simple.
Plenty of plasters.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The scissors, tweezers, all sorts, safety clips, gauze, sterile pads. You've got pretty much all your bases covered. I have kind of a basic over knowledge of first aid. I used to be a scout leader many years ago, so I've got some basic knowledge of things. I just cover everything in the one pack. That's what goes in the lid of the pack, so we'll show you that getting packed away in a bit.
Oh, that's everything, I think.
Oh yeah, we'll just move these. We've got a couple of cook pots that nest inside each other. They're just nesting billy cans. And as you can see in there, I think the utmost important piece of kit out of the whole lot. Loo roll. Because we all get caught for a number 2 in the woods. Nobody likes to talk about it, but it happens. So I squeeze that in there, not a problem. Then we have a little teapot, kettle. You can boil some water up in that. That'll do 2 of us once it's full. Then you have the, I think it's called a Crusader. It's like a metal cup made out of alley. Then you've got this standard mess kit. And then we have here these winter, where's the end? Oh, there it is. Again, we like DD products. We're not sponsored by them, but we think they're pretty bomb-proof. This is the DD Dura 2 sleeping bag. I went for the XL size just because I hate being sort of mummified in the bag. It's quite big, quite bulky, but it's purely for winter. So Matt's going to show how you can use the bottom access of the pack.
Stick that in roughly there.
And turn it side on. Like that. And then you zip your zip up. That's it, and that then just sits.
Do you want to switch to the other camera?
Deep down in the bottom. Now, I'll be back in a minute. We're just going to switch cameras.
Hey guys, so now I'm going to pack the bag. I'm going to show you how to pack it and what the best way is to pack it. And you're going to want to start off with putting your sleep stuff at the bottom, which is your main bulk of your gear, or the bulkier gear that you've got. So you're going to want to shove that at the bottom. You can see that in there, like that.
So yeah, right in the bottom there, you've got the sleeping bag. That's right down at the bottom. Then what he's done is he's put the tarp right at the bottom, so that'll be in the small of your back. And then on top of that, he's then got the roll mat. Now that could be stood upright when you've got more gear, and it just depends how you want to pack it.
So because this is quite a big pack, we're generous on space at the moment. So what you're going to want to do is put most of your heavier stuff towards the small of your back and the middle of your back, to reduce the strain on your back.
Also keeps the weight stabilised when you're walking and you're hiking and you're going over rocks or stiles or muddy areas, or you're going across streams. It keeps everything more stable and centralised to your back.
So what I normally do is the axe that can go down the side there.
Head first down so that you've got the weight at the bottom.
Like that. And then cook pots. They can go there. The kettle will fit there. You see that? And then the last of the metal stuff that we use.
But yeah, if you had most of that titanium, you could probably shave off quite, I don't know, maybe a pound or so of weight. Again, only one of you needs to carry an axe, only one of you needs to carry a saw, so there's no point in both of you going on a trip together and you're both carrying a saw and axe each, because that's just needless carry of weight. We've kind of covered this before as well.
And then a good trick or tip is, if you don't want your metals in your bags clanging or making a noise while you're walking, you can put towels or put material in between the metal, or your shmog or a coat or anything, and it'll stop them
banging and clanging together as you're walking. But
clanging together.
You don't want that. You know, maybe if you're being a little bit more covert, you're not too, and you want to be kind of watching your noise. Don't know what situation that would be in, but you know, we like to kind of go quiet in places sometimes.
Right, so we've got the couches left, so they can just lie on the top.
Maybe you could squeeze one of those down the front of the pack a little bit more. There's a bit of space down at the front. It's amazing how much you can actually just push down and squeeze down in the front of that pack. That's it. That's it.
No, it's cordage, it doesn't really weigh anything.
No, there's no weight to that at all.
No. And even though it looks full,
you've still got that extendable piece there.
Quite a lot of space.
You've still got a lot of space to go out, because the lid is extendable on its straps, and then you just cinch it down nice and tight over everything.
So that
not really got much left to go in.
It's got the waterproof coat.
Yeah, water filtration pack needs to go in. That's it. The water bottles can slip in as well.
Yeah.
And then don't forget the lid stuff, because you've got your first aid kit that will go in the lid. It'll squeeze in, or just lie it across the bag mat. I usually just have it lay across the bag, and I usually ram it down the side. So then you just cinch that lot down. That's it. Now with this pack, which I find is fantastic, it has a strap that comes from the back of the pack and goes across. See that buckle there, Matt? You show that buckle as well.
Mine doesn't have
that. Matt's has come off, but they were second-hand packs. His came without one, mine came with one, but it's really handy. Comes from the back, and you can just pull all that nice and tight. Brilliant.
And then it's got
an extra just to cinch it all round. So there's plenty of cords to cinch all that in. Right, now first aid kit goes on the inside of my lid, in that zip pouch. Sorry about my camera work here, guys, I'm not that great. Well, that should fit into the top of there quite nicely.
like so. And then just slip your gloves down the side like that.
They go in the top, mate, on the outside pouch, but it doesn't matter. You can pop them in there if you want, yeah. That's it. And then that all then clips up. And then you've then got the, as I was saying before when we were describing the bag, at the top of the lid you've got another pouch.
Big empty space.
Big empty space, so that for me goes on the molly on the front, so we'll attach that on after and I'll tell you what goes in there after. There goes my knife, my saw, fire lighting kit, tinder pouch, and maybe you could slip the bungees in there as well. I don't usually put them in there, but they'll fit in there, it's not a problem. Again, it's all personal preference really with all your bits and bobs as to where you can fit stuff, but that's usually the general rule as to how we always pack our bags the same every time we go away. Now the molly's on the front, as I was just mentioning.
So
yeah, they just pressed at the bottom, don't they? And you just thread them through there. That's it. It's just, this is just an extra small EDC, everyday carry, molly pouch. Now because I need medication for my illness, I carry my medication in there, and I know it's always attached to my pack if I need it. Also in there I'll put like spare charged batteries for my e-cigarette. Extra vape can go in there.
And that ain't going anywhere.
That ain't going anywhere. You can put all sorts of stuff in there, but it's just little extras really, you know, that you may want to carry with you.
Just press studs on the back.
Extra batteries, maybe a compass, you know, stuff like that. Little bits and bobs.
That
are all done. And now change angle.
There goes through the camera. So, yeah. You have your straps dead tight on this?
Yeah, I do, yeah, I have it nice and tight to my back.
And you just these. Oh, there we go. And then with this buckle, it literally just slips through and round like that.
Yeah, it's just the tension keeps it nice and tight on itself. But yeah, really nice thick waist strap. You've even got a chest strap. I tend to not use the chest strap because I feel it restricts my breathing with my ribs. Well. But yeah, if you can kind of look from, not being rude, but from the small of Matt's back, Matt's buttocks, we go from there, up, 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 to just the back of his head. Because we've got obviously a lot of winter gear in, that's one full big 90 litre pack.
I can move around.
And feel like you're in control of that pack, yeah?
Quite a lot of ease. So.
Yeah. Now that's going to be a lot of weight. Yeah, it's a big pack. Yeah, it's a lot to carry. Yeah, you wouldn't want to go masses and masses and masses of distance with it, but if you had to, you could. And if you pack it correctly, it'll make life easier for you. Okay? So always remember, the heavy stuff in your pack towards the centre of your back. Sleep gear in the bottom, and then pack all your mid-weight gear all around that up to the top. Waterproof stuff that's grabbable in the lid at the top, and you're then more or less done. Is it set in kilograms? If he says it's a kg, yeah.
Yep. 14.3 kilograms.
Right, there's 14.3 kilograms. I don't know what that is in pounds, guys, but
I can change it.
you know, 14 kilograms is quite a lot to carry. What's that in pounds? LB. Yep. Cool. Right, he's now going to try and do a conversion in pounds. It's going to be
that's about 32 pounds.
about 32 pounds in weight.
So.
Okay. So what was it? 14 kilograms.
Yeah.
32 pounds.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight to carry.
Yeah, but that's don't forget that's excluding liquids and food as well,
Yeah.
which we would normally.
We
take.
haven't put liquids and foods in there either yet, but you know, things that I would carry like a tarp, Matt wouldn't have in his bag. So then, because he's got the space in his pack, because he's not got the tarp in, he might then carry the steaks, food, and what have you. Yeah. So it's about just kind of sharing gear around between you both. If it's just the two of you that are going, you know, you're going to share the same shelter, right? You're going to be sharing the same gear, i.e., one of you carry the axe, one of you carry the saw. Saves weight. Things like that. You only need one tarp, really. Sometimes we take two. It just depends. It's like a backup. You know, you might want like a roof shelter. You might want like a ground sheet. It depends what you're going to be doing, doesn't it? When you go away.
Yeah. It's all about your individual preference and what gear you like, what gear you don't like, the requirements of the trip. So if you're going far north into the boreal forest, you're going to need a big pack, and you're going to need very, very thick clothing, winter clothing. You're going to need waterproofs, a lot of warm clothing, so you're going to need a lot of gear. And
you might want to take your hammocks, because it's going to be predominantly trees. So you're going to know you can sling a hammock up, then that's got you off the floor. So you'll be wanting to take your hammocks. If you weren't going to, say, the boreal forest, kind of halfway up the the mountainsides, and you were going to be more down in the valleys and lowlands, you then wouldn't take a hammock because you wouldn't have the trees to hang it to. You would then be using a tarp and tarp tenting, or shelter building. It just depends. Again, you've just got to think about your location, think about what you're going to take, think about the time of year and the weather. All these things need weighing up before you go anywhere on a long trip. You know, let people know where you're going to be staying, roughly where you're going, what area you're going to be in. If you would have any plans of moving on from, say, A to B to C to D, any deviance on that route that you may think you may do, just write it down before you go away. So if anything does happen and you don't return back on the day back you're supposed to be coming home, people can then go out and look for you. Search parties are going to know exactly where you are, exactly where you plan to be. They then have a rough idea. That is always, rule of thumb, what I will always do. I leave my wife with grid reference to the exact site where I'm hoping to aim for. I'll give her a start point and a finish point, how long I intend to be. I also try to, keep contact with somebody at least once a day, just to give them a bit of an update as to where we're up to and what we're doing, and we're all okay. Stops people at home worrying. Also lets them know you're safe and sound and you're cracking on and getting on all right. With regards to the Berghaus Crusader backpack,
that's the Berghaus Crusader. If you're interested in that, you can buy it from probably any surplus store.
You can get it from a lot of surplus stores,
or you could go direct to the Berghaus website. I don't know whether they still sell them brand new or not, because they're bringing out new models.
I've just done a search on the internet, Matt, today. Berghaus Crusader, 90 plus 20, and £214 it came up as brand new.
Yeah, so if you don't want to pay a shockingly premium price for
second hand, what did we pay for those? 60 was it?
£50, including delivery.
Yeah, 50 quid plus delivery. Jesus, that's not bad for an absolute bomb-proof rucksack. And from that, you can still, it's nice and slender, you can still have the side pouches on. So don't forget, they're not on. So you could take some of the stuff that's in the top, sling it in the side pouches, so it's a bit of a wider pack, like a Bergen would be, a military Bergen. Absolutely perfect pack. We can't fault it. It's bomb-proof, and it's done us for what, about a year and a half now?
Yeah, and it looks brand new.
And it's still good to go.
And the tape, if you noticed the tape before, that's just somebody's taped up the...
Well, I redid it, but it's basically where you've got these loads of long bits of strap, and I can't be doing with it flapping around while you're walking, so you just roll it up, squash it flat, bang a load of duct tape around it, and it just keeps it there in place, keeps it...
But it was like that when we bought it, and Dad just replaced the tape.
Took some of the tape off.
So yeah.
Cracking pack.
So if you enjoyed that, guys, if you found that helpful or useful in any way, please give the video a thumbs up, and if you like our content, you want to see more, please leave a comment below. Please click the subscribe button while you're here, we really appreciate it. And in the description there'll be a link to our Patreon page, where there's 2 different tiers, and if you'd like to help us further with creating content, then please go ahead and join our Patreon.
So, on the Patreons there are, and will be given, depending on which tier you go for, certain exclusive hints, tips, guides, maybe early views of videos before they get put out on the main channel, stuff like that. So you can get extras by the different tiers. It's all described on the Patreon page. So yeah.
Thumbs up from us, guys.
Cheers. Thanks very much from FNS BUP, and see you next time.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Bye.